It is my daily quest. I'm in the Diamond League. Let me just mute which site, because otherwise I was coming through twice. My name is Holazor. Hello. That's the wrong hand. Hello, because I've cropped my video so I don't have crappy stuff on the other side out there shown. And what I'm going to do is my daily quest. Now, I'm currently in Diamond 2 League. I've got the Dragon Quest. I've been playing Splinterlands since about 2018, and I'm really bad at this game. At least recently, I've been really bad. My win-loss ratio has been awful. 115 battles this season, 49 wins. Maybe I'll get good. Maybe I'll struggle. But here I go. I'm jumping into battle. See what happens. Alrighty. First battle. No magic. 50 mana cap. My opponent has played water predominantly in their past matches. They don't seem to favor any particular stuff, but I reckon they're going for a water quest. I'm going to be playing dragon, my dragon quest, but I think I might be keen to play life against them with dragon. So the question is, I'm going to go for Slender Sky, pick life, since I've been going for water. I'm going to risk that they're not going to use magic. But at the same time, I might see if I've got any creatures that have silence that I can throw in. Which I don't anyway. Not with life, and I don't think I want to play Clay Golem because it's too slow. So my goal is going to be to keep the shield bearer alive as long as possible. So I'm going to be adding armor and repair to my guys. So I know that I want to use lone boatman because they can shatter the enemy's armor, they can repair, and they can snipe. And I'm going to throw in Truth Speaker as well when I find it. Oh no, true. Oh, there they are. I thought they had a magical attack for a second. And then all the damage that I'm going to lay in is also going to be ranged and also protect. So I'm going to throw in that. We will throw in Hero Beyond is our last line. Vigilator in there as well. And Lone Boatman's gonna go there. So pretty slow. Get that in there. And hey, Leave Moon, Barry, I was not looking at the chat. I was focusing on picking my team. So they've gone and they've played Life Splinter as well. So they've done a complete reversal of what I expected. So this might end up well for me. Hopefully. So let's have a look and see what happens. I always fast forward because I get very impatient watching battles. They're going to be quite annoying with the triage and the resurrect of their summoner. Brain was not functioning for a second there. But I'm glad that I brought creatures with sniper along, because they've put their Angel of Light not necessarily in the correct place. Potentially not in the most effective place. My confidence is now waning a little bit. Particularly if I keep missing. Angel White has 1 speed. I would have thought that the Silver Shield Sheriff would have knocked her out by now. But heal is going to be annoying. I've got no ranged creatures left now. So I'm not going to win this battle. It started off looking good for me. About 1300, but that's on this account. I've got other cards on another account as well. So the SPS drop is pretty alright. But I've been playing since 2018, so I can't really complain all that much. So I stake all my SPS on another account. So that's why the balance in this thing shows is rather low. Alright, so what have I got here? Playing someone else who recently played that 40 mana. I reckon I'm gonna go Dragon Green. Throw in some Affliction because I can't be bothered dealing with healing like I did last time. And one of my favorite formations is putting a Nectar Queen up front, especially with Daria Dragon Scale. Walk Sergeant, and then spamming every possible thing that I can find that's melee that I can attack. From a ranged position, so stuff with opportunity and sneak and all that sort of stuff. I did say that I wanted to throw in some anti-healing as well. So options for Affliction. That Sorcerer might actually work well because it'll get rid of their armor as well. Let's see how badly I lose. Probably very badly. Most likely horribly is how I will lose this. The Rust worked out well for me on the Sorcerer. Problem now is that the Djinn has their can't remember the name of the ability, Force Field, and most of my creatures now have more than 5 damage. So it's going to be tough to actually knock down their door. Once I do, I'm still going to die. I'm still going to lose horribly. And that's okay. It's all a learning experience. Why did I lose? Because they had magic and I didn't bring any magic with me. And I should have. Yeah, Jin is super duper strong. The disappointing thing is my monsters were also strong. This one's 4 mana. Sorry, Rise of the Commons. I didn't look at what my opponent had selected, so I'm going to be going in blind for this one. And I'm fine with going in blind. I'll probably play better for it. I'm going to choose Death. And because it's a fairly low mana match, I want to try and maximize the number of monsters I'm putting on the field. Because that typically goes well. At least I find that it does. But at the same time, I want to try and be as annoying as possible to my opponent by using some of the new Chaos Legion rewards. I really like Naga Assassin. She is really good with backfire. Whether or not it'll work in this, or whether it'll backfire on me, we'll find out. They're not likely to miss, so backfire has been rendered completely useless by the kitty. That's only one card. So they've got 3 heals on that creeping ooze. I'm going to be able to take out one of the heals with my undead badger, who's going to sneak up a storm on there. But the funny thing about this one is going to be, no matter how long the battle goes for, the creeping ooze is going to just keep healing, keep healing, keep healing. And I'm okay with that, because my bonesmith here is also going to just keep absorbing life. And I was hoping the battle was going to go on forever, so my bonesmith could get like, heaps and heaps of health. But it didn't happen. Hey, I don't know how to say your name. I'm going to try it. Qualdatroms. And yeah, I did do a little screen share not too long ago in the Steam Monsters. Steam Monsters used to be called Steam Monsters. It's called Splinterlands now. In the Discord channel, about a week ago, and I believe Barry watched me commentate some of my games for a little bit. So if you guys have got any questions, let me know. I am checking the chat sort of between battles, between doing what it is I'm doing here. Okay, so this one is Back to Basics and Trample, or Stampede. Back to Basics means all of the monster abilities are disabled, so it really doesn't matter which monsters I choose. But generally in Back to Basics, you want to choose predominantly ranged monsters. Because I am trying to get my Dragon quest done, I'm choosing Dragon. And I reckon I'm going to go Earth, because they've got a good variety of a cheap tank who has quite a bit of health in the Failed Summoner, and then a whole bunch of low mana creatures that I'm going to throw in that can do some range damage. So I started with the lowest damaging creatures and put them in the front. And then I'm going to work my way up to the higher damaging creatures. So now I'm thinking I've got 11 mana left, and I know that I want to put in the Headhunter, because the 6 attack is ludicrous, particularly for Back to Basics. It would be +1 with Selenia. I'll go have a look and see. I still have another 2 mana available, so Goblin Dartling goes in as a bit of a meat shield, and we'll see what happens. Do I think it's worth to buy summoners now? I'm not really sure. It depends on what your objectives and goals are. I think Camilla is probably one of the better value summoners that's out there at the moment, because A, she can summon everything, being a Dragon Splinter summoner. She can work with any other Splinter. That and the -1 attack is pretty nice to have. But who knows what summoners we're going to get with Chaos Legion. Are they going to be more appealing? Are they going to be better? The other alternative is there is some of the reward summoners, like Kretch. I reckon there's probably good value in him as well, if you can't spread the budget all the way up to Camilla. But I think she's probably the best bang for buck summoner at the moment, particularly if you want to try and grab a Dragon Splinter summoner. So that one was a win. I wasn't really watching the battle or commentating that one. But the reason I won that was because I don't think they had a full roundup of creatures. Now, this one here is probably one of my favorite rule set combinations. Up close and personal, plus equal opportunity, so everything has opportunity. And it's all about attacks. So because it's only monsters with melee attacks, I am going to play another Sungazer. And I'm thinking I'm going to try and out heal whoever it is that I'm battling. So I'll throw in a Flesh Golem, the new Piccolo Mercenary. The only thing that's probably going to beat me here is going to be something like a Milo Crowley. And there's no real way you can counter that when it's melee mayhem other than just healing more than your enemies can heal. Then the other final creatures that I'm going to probably throw in is got to think carefully here because I really want to use something with opportunity. Sorry, scavenge. Everyone's got opportunity in this rule set, but at the same time, I don't want to sort of uncontrollably feed one of their creatures that they might bring out that has opportunity. So I'm just going to try and throw every possible thing that I can in here. So I might drop Brownie and put in Sneak Eye. Now I've put the Mercenary at the back because he's got Retaliate plus Heal. So if they decide to do like heavy sneak monsters, then I'll be okay. And I'm just throwing the chicken in as a meat shield for this one. And they played Milo Crowley. So I was a pretty good guess at what they were going to do. Now they've played 2 Inspires, which was something that I was thinking of doing, but I didn't end up doing with Brownie. But I'm countering out one of them. So let's see what happens. They've got the speed advantage for sure. Oh, dang, Retaliate missed. I think I should be able to wear them down on account of the fact that I've got 2 healing monsters. They've only got the Flesh Golem. No, I'm not going to be able to wear them down. The Thorns is too strong. Yeah, the Mercenary and Llama would be a really powerful combo together. I did say it during team selection for that one. The only thing that's probably going to beat this is going to be Milo, and that's exactly what the opponent played. So it can happen, and it does happen. It will continue to happen. All right, what have we got now? Silent Summoners and Little League. So it doesn't matter what summoner we're picking. Enemy team has played Life all the way through. Looks like they're a one-trick pony. So I know I'm going to be preparing for Divine Shield, Return Fire by Shield Bearer, and potentially some Sneak and some Poison. So I'm probably gonna do the Fight Life with Life. Oh no, we can't. Life is disabled, so I've got no idea what they're gonna throw at me. Given that it's Little League, it doesn't really matter what summoner I pick here. I'm tempted to go Fire just on account of speed, because if I don't know what they're going to be throwing at me, I'd rather be attacking first. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. Given that they play Life, I'm going to assume that they also like healing, so I'm going to throw in Magma Troll for the Affliction. And then throw in Tower Griffin for some armor. Debating whether I throw in the Fire Mage. I've got oodles of mana left because Little League doesn't really allow you to choose big tough guy monsters, only up to 4 mana. And since I want to focus on speed, I've got nothing that does significant amounts of damage, so let's throw in Naga Assassin in the rear. Just reorder the creatures a little bit. Keep the Tower Griffin in the battle for as long as possible. Let's see what happens. Yeah, Tower Griffin is a really, really, really good card. I always forget to use them. But that extra armor and the ranged attack that they've got just is so annoying. But let's see what happens here. I was right about them bringing the healing. So I've lost the first monster. Okay, pretty much all rides on my Cerberus. If I lose my Cerberus, I probably lose. Speaking of what would happen, I just lost my Cerberus. This is actually working out well because they can't hit my Spark Pixies because of the 8 speed that they've got and the dodge. The picking of the archers isn't really an issue here because it was Silent Summoners. So Spark Pixies has was the winner for that one. I'll replay that one and I'll explain what happens and why I won versus the other team. So one of the abilities that Spark Pixies has is dodge, has an increased chance of evading melee or ranged attacks. And because by default, especially in this league level, Spark Pixies has got 7 speed. I've got swiftness on the Naga Assassin that takes them up to 8 speed. They would be hard pressed to hit Spark Pixies in the first instance. And that was also the reason why I put Spark Pixies in front of my other stuff here as well, to use it as sort of like a meat shield to my other backline creatures. So what has happened is once Spark Pixies gets up to the front, I'll slow down the combat animation so I can talk through it. The only thing that's going to hit Spark Pixies is going to be the magic attack, because magic can't miss, but the turn order made sure of that. So 4 speed versus 8 speed is a tough hit. 4 speed versus 8 speed is a tough hit. You compound that with the fact that Spark Pixies also has dodge, and it makes them very, very difficult to hit. So Spark Pixies are sat in the front there, just dodging all the attacks. They've left with ranged attackers, which means once their ranged attackers gets to the front line, it can't attack. Obviously, my Spark Pixies can't attack either, but it's worked well as a sort of a tank that attracts attacks, but can't actually be hit by them, which works well. Or at least it worked well. I am not sure if that was strategy or dumb luck, but there was strategy in where I put the Spark Pixies in front of my other ranged creatures to ensure that they were going to soak up any shots while everything behind was firing. So next battle is no armor and noxious fumes, so everything is poisoned at the start of the battle. Now you can cleanse poison, which is exactly what I intend to do. And I intend to combine that with a healer of my own. So I'm going to play Water Splinter. I'm going to use my Sea Monster, which is an older reward card from the beta set. And then we're going to back up Sea Monster with the Kelp Initiate, which has Cleanse. But it's not good enough to just go, right, I can cleanse myself of poison, GG, because I'm going to heal while you continue to be poisoned. I also want to put something in that's going to force the enemy to become afflicted so that they can't heal. Otherwise, what's the point of me out healing an enemy who may be trying to employ the same strategy as me here? And in my backline, I'm going to put a water elemental because, again, they've got heal and dodge. They don't have as much speed as a Spark Pixie. And the heal will help them counteract any poison that comes through. And then for the rest of my team, I've got 5 mana left. I'm either thinking about stuff that's going to get in and do a whole bunch of damage and then die. Or alternatively, something that if the sea monster does die, it can still sort of do something at the front line of the battle. There is the option. This one's a pretty hilariously nasty combo, particularly in this rule set, because the Kelp Initiate heals the Albatross heals the Kelp Initiate as a second sort of backline. But anyway, I'm running out of time here, so I've got 4 mana left for my final creature. So I think what I'm going to throw in is throw in an anti-armor, so a Coral Wraith, and off we go. So they've brought lots of healing along. 1 heal, 2 heal, 3 heals. Hopefully my affliction hits and hopefully my affliction sticks. Because I'm definitely going to get my sea monster cleansed with the Kelp Initiate. So the sea monster's going to be alright. My affliction has hit their frontline monster, so that's awesome. Should allow me to now chew through their lines. Obviously, I'm going to lose some creatures myself. But the poison from the rule set doesn't reapply every turn. It'd be a lot more challenging, this rule set, if it did. But given that they've got no cleanse, they're going to keep taking damage from poison, while my sea monster is just going to keep healing themselves now without poison. So as long as my sea monster can tank their team's damage, the poison should wear them down. Yeah, Spirit of the Forest is a pretty nasty card, but it's also one of my favorite cards. It's a really powerful card. But again, my sea monster strategy here has worked really well. And these two cards are sort of mirrors of each other, the water elemental and the earth elemental, except the water elemental's got dodge as well. So that's another win. I want to streak here. I got 1 more win for the quest. Yeah, there was a lot of cards that I've looked at in the past, and everyone's been like, "Oh, I should have just bought it at this," and even I regret not buying some cards when I should have gotten them. When I just think to myself, "Oh, it's only this much." But the thing I've learned playing Splinterlands for 3 years is it doesn't seem to matter what price a card is when you're looking at it. You just buy it. It's going to go up because as more players come in, there's a scarcity of cards. Of course, not financial advice. I play this for fun because it's a fun game. But yeah, you look at cards and you just think, oh, it's a good card, but it seems a bit expensive. If you don't buy it, odds are it's going to be more expensive in the future than what it was when you were considering buying it. So looking back in time and feeling sad about those things is also part of the way in which you play Splinterlands. You are often sad about the cards that got away. So this one here, we've got a Noxious Fumes rule set, also up close and personal. Yeah, no need to donate, man. No need to donate. I got this DEC through playing and through thinking when I got my land for the land expansion that there was going to be a lot of things that would require DEC for land. So I was like, I'm just going to stock up on DEC before it gets expensive, because DEC was even cheaper when it was, because DEC is going to be something that's going to always be needed in the game, particularly for like upgrading a guild. I'm in a max guild, and upgrading buildings in a guild is not cheap. I'll show you guys that in just a moment. I should pick my team for this before the timer runs out. So, Dragon, up close and personal, Noxious Fumes, only 12 mana, so gonna play Camilla again. Sacred Unicorn, gonna try the same thing as a sea monster strategy here. And then I'm gonna go Silver Shield Bard, because they've got the cleanse. I just want to try and keep my unicorn alive. And then I will throw in a Creeping Ooze and the chicken, because if my Sacred Unicorn dies, it's all over, basically, this battle. But yeah, the creeping, not Creeping Ooze, the Gelatinous Blob, and just anything is a good strategy as well. And the other thing I like about the Sacred Unicorn is that they have trample, so I can kill their whole team almost with just a single attack here. One of the best rule sets in the game. I really enjoy the what is it called? The Endless Stampede or whatever it is rule set, where the monster can just keep trampling through the enemy team, much like how trample works as a mechanic in Magic the Gathering. And if that was the case for this battle, my unicorn's first attack should have wiped out their entire team. So, yeah, that was my legitimate strategy for that particular one. So, before I claim my Daily Crest reward, I'll just talk a little bit more about the Dark Energy Crystals and why I did that stuff. So with the buildings for a guild, our guild has just upgraded their store to level 4. So we are going to need more crowns in order to upgrade it to the next level. But you can see that to get to the next level of the store, we need a 100,000 DEC from the guild members. And then as it goes up, it's going to be 1.5 million DEC for a level 10 guild store. I think it's the same for a barracks. So we're going to need the same, because in guild brawls, there's all these other sorts of rule sets that apply on top of battles themselves. So that's why I went and got so much DEC, knowing that I would need it in the future to help upgrade my guild that I play with my friends in. So let's claim those rewards and see what I get out of today. I actually get pretty excited now when I end up getting a potion, because potions, since the changes happened, seem to be really rare. So this one is definitely not a gold foil, because it's not shaking and there's no glow. So 9 DEC. Pellicore Bandit. 28 Dark Energy Crystals. Yay, a potion. Awesome. Legendary potion, because I'm going to be buying Chaos Legion packs, so I want those potions. I'm going to need those potions. Some more Dark Energy Crystals. Pellicore Deceiver. Dark Energy Crystal. Another Deceiver. Bandit. Heatsmith. Lion, another legendary potion, alchemy potion, energy crystals, and the last chest for today, another Pellicor Deceiver. So no rares, no epics, no gold foils, but that's okay. Um, the real fun is in playing the game and seeing what the rewards are. Because when it comes to Chaos Legion, oh, I haven't actually seen that new pack design outside of the AMA. But yeah, I've got about 250 of the quest and not quest, the legendary and gold foil potion. So that's gonna help me when I get to purchasing my Chaos Legion packs. And then this stuff over here is for the guild, the gladiator packs, which are from the guild store. So one of the other things that we've got when you get a guild and you've got the guild store upgraded is you can buy these gladius cases, which have gladiator cards in them. So gladiator cards can't be traded, they can't be delegated, they can't be sent to another player, but you can burn them for DEC. So my guild has participated in a number of brawls. I've gotten a few of these gladiators. The gladiators can only be used in guild brawls, and so far each of these gladiators have this ability called Bloodlust, which is awesome to watch in combat, because if they kill an enemy, they gain +1 attack, +1 speed, +1 health, and they just go, it's opportunity on steroids, basically, that Bloodlust ability. I don't know whether we'll see it on any monsters in Chaos Legion, but all the gladiators seem to have it, so it's a really, really fun ability. It's really satisfying to watch it go nuts, and it can be the turning point of some battles as well. But I'm gonna play a couple more battles here because I want to try and get up to the next ranking into Diamond 1. See if I can even push beyond that, maybe. I'm probably going to stream for about another half an hour before I call it a day, because I'll probably like lose every single battle from here on. That's probably going to happen. If it does, it does. If it doesn't, I don't really mind. I don't care. But we'll see what happens next. I'll win at least one battle. At least one. But now it's taking forever to do this matchmaking stuff. All right, so we've got broken arrows and blast. So everyone's got blast. Yes, there are bots that I have seen playing in higher leagues. I don't think that they're the new age bots that a lot of people are running these days. But there's one guy who runs a guild which is all bots, and they compete pretty well in Diamond League and Gold League. But he has stacked them with actual cards, not just starter cards and that sort of thing. And I believe he's got like a artificial intelligence sort of system feeding them and that sort of thing. Like they're constantly learning and that sort of thing. Yeah, shoot with your question, man. I'm just going to pick my team here, then I'll come back and answer the question. So we've got broken arrows, so pointless picking anything that has arrows. So I'm going to go with Camilla again, just to make you guys jealous, I think. Maybe. I don't know. And because Blast is in the equation, I'm going to go with green. You know what? I'm going to do From the Undying. And then Meat Shield. And then another Meat Shield, just to keep the enemy entertained. Slow them down a little bit. And see what happens. Yeah, I was gonna, when I read Onyx Sentinel, I don't actually have an Onyx Sentinel maxed out. I think I've only got like maybe 2 or 3 copies of Onyx Sentinel, but I did a few months ago max out Almo, because I think they are the next Lord Arianthus in terms of that front row tank that can take a beating, be really annoying to take out, and yeah, it's an undervalued card. I think I don't see Onyx Sentinel played all that much, which makes me think that they could have some value in them as a like unexpected card, but it's not a card that I really pay close attention to. Let's actually go have a look at that card in just a moment. So I won that battle by using Kron. Pretty cheesy way to win a battle, and that put me into Diamond 1, so that's good. Now the problem is staying in Diamond 1. Let's go have a look at the Onyx Sentinel though. I believe it was a reward card. Epic. Let's change this to all cards so that I can bring it up because I don't have one. This account. So let's have a look at its stats. So it costs 5 mana, which is awesome. It's got Shield, Void, Thorns, Return Fire, but it doesn't have Reflect. So, but having said that, Lord Arianthus doesn't have Return Fire. So that's the key there. So you've got this guy who's anti non-magic, and Lord A who is anti magic, like through and through. Because he's a neutral, if you played him with someone like Alistair Rotwell from the Dice set as a death summoner, for all intents and purposes, hey, this guy is the new Lord Arianthus. Man, now I'm looking at this card and I'm like, maybe I should get, but it makes it difficult to justify. Because this is one of the ones that, like I said, there's those cards that get away from you, and you're like, oh no, I won't get that. And then to compound that feeling, what I just said, work really well with Alistair Rotwell, the summoner from the dice set. I also don't have a max level one of those either, and he is quite pricey, particularly when you look at max level. So it's kind of like, should you? It's one of those things where, yeah, combined it could be really powerful, but it's quite an expensive proposition, particularly on the cusp of an entirely new edition, waiting in the wings, ready to release. You don't know what those cards are going to do. So I think to some extent, and again, not financial advice, that some of these cards prices might actually be depressed at the moment because people might be holding back buying existing cards. So when Chaos Legion is a known quantity and we know what monsters are in Chaos Legion, and everyone goes nuts and starts buying Chaos Legion cards and starts playing them more and more, some of these Dice and Untamed cards and the more recent Reward Edition cards, I think, will have increased utility in battle based on the abilities and the skills that the newer cards will bring into the game. So jumping into another battle now, no armor and Little League again with a 46 mana cap. So, you know, it's like, oh, never going to use the whole mana cap. Can't even use the 4 mana summoners. So this one's pretty open. I think I might do something that is potentially going to be annoying for the opponent here. Actually quite enjoy the Little League rule set. I find it quite entertaining. However, my plan in my head was going to be to stack armor and do repair span. But there's no armor in this particular match, which I didn't notice immediately. So instead, I'm going to do heals. I'm going to do healing span. I can't speak properly today. So Crystal Jaguar with Thorns. Playing Tyrus is pretty redundant then as well, so I should be really playing Mother Kalia if my plan is to heal spam. So I'm playing creatures from the top here. I sort my creatures by mana cost high to low. And what I'm going to do is put as much stuff in that does a lot of damage, but Light Elemental I feel like could be useful, particularly in an environment where there's no armor allowed. So this Headwinds and Blind to help the enemy miss attacks could be useful. Now my rear line here is quite vulnerable, so I'm going to put in a Thunderbird at the very back because they've got that redemption as well as a stun, and they're flying, so they could be difficult to hit. And then for my final creature, I think I'll put in a Sneak of my own, but I'll put them in the second row. I better hit battle before it runs out. But we'll see what the enemy play with here. So they've gone with Lorna. They've gone with the Werewolf instead of the Jaguar. But yeah, Werewolf would have been a better choice because they've got 1 more health, 1 more speed, for 1 less mana, but they don't have Retaliate. So our team composition is pretty similar, only I didn't bring something with Affliction. So if that Affliction gets into my Crystal Jaguar, it's going to be all over for me. Which is highly likely that they're going to. There it is. Affliction has hit. All over for me. Although it would be funny if my Crystal Smith managed to out-heal them. It'd be funny, but impossible. So that's a loss. I should have brought something with Affliction. I'm not even going to bother watching the rest of that one. Yeah, we've got birds here in Australia. They're very prominent. They're minor birds, I think, that you're hearing in the background. But my house is sort of pretty close to a creek, so a lot of birds gather in that area. And try as I might, even with like filters on my mic, the bird sounds still make their way in, even through the noise suppression, because they're just so high pitched. All right, so for this one, we have reverse speed and no melee creatures allowed. So I'm going to do what any sane person would do. And I was going to say play Cron, but Green Splinter is out of the game. So I really want to play Mimosa, but 18 mana is... Nah, screw it. I'm going to play Mimosa. I'm just going to play low mana creatures to get through this one. And then I forgot that melee creatures weren't allowed. Damn. I'm still going to work with it. I've dug my grave. I'm going to sit in it. So what am I going to use as a tank? I'm going to use Shadowy Presence. But why? Because it's the cheapest tank for death at this point. 6 health, 1 mana. And I'm going to hope to hell that they don't bring any Magic Reflect. And I'm going to stack as much magical damage as I can. I'm going to throw that guy in. This is not a good team composition. This is a terrible idea and a terrible team composition. But I've done it. I've hit submit. What happens now? If this team wins, it's like the worst team that will ever win a game. This is not something that you should put in. Yeah, I'll have a look after this battle. I can look it up in game and see what you've got. You know, it'd be really funny if my opponent surrenders um, in this battle. Just gonna copy your account name here from the chat, and I'll throw it in after this battle and have a look and see what you've got. And I think targeting modern format, I'm guessing you don't want to go back and buy like alpha and beta cards from the past. Yeah, it's pretty good advice to just, you know, go buy everything. That definitely would help. Yeah, I'm not winning. I'm not winning this game. Actually, I might. If I do, this is going to be hilarious because Affliction has like removed their ability to do damage. What the hell? This is like the worst team composition I could have put in, and I somehow won. I'm not proud of that win, but I'll take it. Yeah, but Bones, I just want to watch that game again because I don't. My eyes deceive me. So the mana cap was 18, I think. Yeah. No melee and reverse speed. And I've even done the stupid thing of playing really fast monsters. Like, I think this was just a bad lineup for them because they've played Bone Dragon, which did do weaken, which slowed my creatures. I think it's called weaken. No, weakened is -1 health. Oh, and they've got slow as well. No, sorry, I was reading what negative status effects they had. So, yeah, the snipe went through, hit the back line before the Bone Dragon could start leeching life. And that was really their only damage. So I can see why I won, but still shouldn't have. Because there should have been another team played by the opponent in that. Let me have a look at your collection here, Lever Moon, and we'll have a look and see. So you can bring up any player's collection just by going to cards and then double clicking the username and then pasting over the top, which is what I've done here. So let's have a look at your collection. So we're going to look at what you've got in reward, untamed dice sets. So I'm also going to turn on all cards so I can see what's missing, if anything is. Now, let me first have a look at your summoners, so I know what summoners you've got here. So we've got Bordis, Vera, Wizard of Eastwood, Lorna, Ouster, and Cretch. So that's a good balance there. I would probably hold off on any summoners. I like that you've got 5 Wizards of Eastwood because I believe that's enough to get it to max of bronze. Pyre is a great card. That +1 speed is outstanding. Real game changer. Really underappreciated stat. There was a promo card that had +1 speed. That was a summoner for Dragon Splinter. And because it was a promo card, a lot of people got it. I feel like it was really sort of vague and not all that popular in play, but +1 speed, Pyre, and Valnamore, which is a beta summoner, so, you know, out of the question. Yeah, if you don't have a Pyre, I reckon save up and get one. So you can free up the capital that you're using to rent Pyre. I don't know what the maths is on it, how long it would take you to buy the card instead of renting it. But yeah, it's a very useful card. So you're pretty good in terms of all the summoners that we've got. I do like Contessa mainly for that -1, but let's have a look at your actual cards for your monsters. So just filter it by monsters. So Serpentine Spy, excellent choice, awesome card. Works really well with fire, and the value on the market shows that as well. Ant Miners is a really underappreciated card, particularly when it gets shield. He's a little meat shield that can sort of sit there with Scavenger and shield at a higher level. Not sure when he gets shield, but in a rule set like what is it called? It's not equal opportunity. It's the one where everyone gets the same health as the highest monster's health. He is really powerful. So Ant Miners is a good card to have. Ifrit Elder is like Kron the Undying on a budget. Especially with reward cards as well. The best sort of thing to do is what's not included in the starter set is basically epics and legendaries and reward cards. So anything that's a reward card that is also out of print, like any free elder, is only going to get dearer as time goes on. And given that it's got the same card border as Untamed does, it's one that will be usable in the modern format. And it's a really cool card. It is Kron on a budget, and I think undervalued. I love Lava Launcher. I think it's a really, really good card, really viable tank in Chaos Legion. So I'm pleased to see that in your collection. Yeah, Sea Monster is a staple of the Water Splinter, but that will fall out of the modern format because it's a beta card with its border. And there isn't really a replacement for it in the current sort of card set, so I think that we'll see a self-healing tank come along in Chaos Legion for blue. So yeah, definitely wouldn't buy. And yeah, thanks that you're renting him. He's really good for now, but in modern format he won't be all that useful. A card that is really undervalued, I feel, as well, is Ice Pixie. The shatter that she has at a higher level to get through armor is really, really good. Like just phenomenally good because she's fast as well compared to everything else at her level when she does have shatter. So she can come in and just ruin a tank's day, particularly a tank that's using armor. Wavesmith, of course, is just brilliant in every league. Coral Wraith is pretty good, particularly in the lower leagues as well, because sneak and 2 magic damage for a single card is pretty freaking powerful. Let's have a look. Jin Sharnus is just so freaking strong, no matter where you put him, no matter how you play him. I reckon that's the new ruler of the seas right there, just without blast. So he's going to be a critical part of everyone's deck. And when you think about his future utility as well, he's going to be around in the edition after Chaos Legion in the modern format as well, because it'll be the 2 most recent editions. So the Jin, he'll go out of print, and then you won't be able to get him anymore. So yeah, I think he is worth it. I think I bought mine at like $38. And I'm not mad that they're cheaper now. Because it's a card that's going to have awesome utility in the future going forward. Failed Summoner is solid, great card, excellent, cheap tank, or cheap by way of only costing 2 mana to put on the battlefield. Harvester is awesome. I really like Nectar Queen as well. Might be a bit biased. I have like 10 or 12 max level Nectar Queens. And going through, because all the rares are in the starter set, so they're not really worthy of all that much conversation about them. Let's have a look further through. Of course, we've got the God mode cards like Kron, but he is well out of most people's price range, and he doesn't really get all that useful until he gets Last Stand. He's pretty average outside of that. And then another card that's really useful. I like this camouflage mechanic on the Jhin. With a single card, so something like Bronze League, for example, he's not all that useful because a simple magic reflect will kill him, basically. He does 1 damage, it comes back, it does 1 damage to him. Next round, he does 1 damage, he's dead. But when he gets Void, he's really nice because he's dealing out 3 damage and getting 1 damage back. So he's useful just for the fact that I believe at the moment he's the only card that has camouflage. Epona is amazing. I don't have an Epona. I just thought they came out of my budget. And then they got more expensive, and I thought, oh, really out of my budget. And they just keep getting more expensive because now that they're out of print. Epona is like such an awesome card. Like, easily the best 1 mana legendary out of the dice set, in my opinion. And she complements the Earth Splinter so well with the abilities that she gets, particularly at max level. But if you were to look at Death Splinter for a card that costs 1 mana, Shadowy Presence is basically the same thing, except it's an epic. Doesn't have those extra 2 abilities at max level. I don't know that Epona would change the course of a battle in Bronze or Silver, but she definitely can in Gold League and above. So looking now to the Life Splinter, hopefully you'll eventually get a Pelacor, Conjurer. They are basically the Failed Summoner, but for Earth. So they are a good cheap 2 mana tank. So they're good. Really, the formula you want in Bronze League is stuff that's not in the starter set, which is your reward cards and epics from the main editions. But yeah, happy to skip over Life because it is a difficult splinter, particularly in the lower leagues to play. But they really start to shine in Gold League and above. Life Splinter, they are one of my favorites to play because you can basically make a team immortal through repair and heal. It's absurd. And I used to hate Death Splinter so much. I was so bad at them. I hated them. Then Untamed came out and they just got some really awesome cards in there. And I can see that you've got quite a few death cards. The ones that I would probably chase is Grim Reaper on account of Affliction, particularly if you get into higher mana battles. It's really useful to have Affliction to counter Earth and Life in particular, and hell, even to counter Death, because Death has healers in there now as well. What else have we got in Death? I love Ancient Lich. They're such an awesome and fun card to play. Very situational though, because they've got the high mana. And in Bronze League, again, I can't really see them changing the course of a battle because they're slow. and lots of Bronze League battles have uh, fast monsters in them. So the way Affliction works is it stops a creature from receiving heals. So you have a monster with healing in the front row, whether it's a Flesh Golem or a Pelacor, Pecalor, or whatever it is, mercenary that's got heal on it. Affliction impacts that monster. They can't self-heal or receive heals from another monster unless that affliction is cleansed from them. Affliction doesn't always apply. It's I think it's 50-50 like a stun. It might apply, it might not. But it stops healing from being put onto the enemy monster. It can be cleansed though. So that's the only downside to affliction, but it can be reapplied after it's been cleansed. And given the fact that they're a backline monster, it's useful to have affliction because that makes death so much more viable as a splinter. Another option, if you don't want to go for Grim Reaper with affliction, I believe there's a neutral card that also has affliction on it, but I don't think that one is as accessible price-wise as Grim Reaper is. The other thing that we've got that we could look at, none of these other creatures sort of really jump out at me as a, oh man, we need this in everyone's life. I'm going to miss Octopider because I think that comes out of the edition. I play them quite a bit, but I'm pretty sure they're a beta edition reward card. And then we're moving into Dragon Splinter. The Dragon is like super situational and really tough to play in lower leagues because so many of the monsters in Dragon League are super high mana. I reckon Twilight Basilisk is the new Manticore because it's got reach while it doesn't have thorns at a higher level. It's got a stun that is supremely annoying, particularly if you're relying on your tank to actually do stuff. Jin is really useful as well. I haven't had the opportunity to use them much in battle, but they've got great health, great armor, particularly for a bronze level sort of creature. And I think that they would be able to go toe to toe with the red splinter. What are they called? Living armor or fire armor or whatever it is. Let me scroll back up to the fire splinter. So I can't remember. Living lava, because at a higher level, living lava gets thorns as well. So the Jin from the dragon, Jin Schwala, is really useful. And if you're playing him in a battle where Dragon is playing Fire Splinter as well, you can probably combine him with the Heatsmith, which gets that amplify ability, I'm pretty sure, which increases the damage given by thorns. So that can be a good synergy. What else have we got here that we can look at? Outside of those, nothing else really jumps as sort of like, oh man, you have to get this card. It's an awesome card. Sandworm, yeah, staple. It's going to be required everywhere. Like best sneak creature in the game, hands down. Like just absolute freaking beast. Sandworm. I really like this guy. I don't understand why he's the cheapest on the market. I think he's got awesome potential. But there's so many other better options than him. Like, why would you play this guy as your main tank when you can play other stuff? I feel like there's going to be something useful or something that's going to make him... It's hard to explain what I'm trying to say here. Is like, we're going to lose a lot of beta and like older reward cards in the modern format. There's no card that I can think of that he would replace. but in the absence of another card, he might just end up being the best option for a frontline monster. But I've never really seen, other than like Rusty Android and Chain Golem from Untamed, which was the promo card for there, and Hydra, sorry, from like Beta Edition. Neutral tanks aren't really a thing. So I feel like he could be super duper useful in a way, particularly as it goes on. And if not for like combat, as a creature that could potentially like work on land or do other things, because neutral can work with any summoner, be able to work on any sort of land. I'm guessing, speculating. And I think this guy has the potential as well to be like another sort of replacement for an existing card. So he's sort of a replacement for the Silver Shield Assassin in my eyes, because he's a sneak creature that's got poison. And that can be useful for just wearing down the enemy's backline. But poison doesn't come in until much higher level, I think. And the last sort of thing is, yeah, as we were discussing earlier, is Almo. And I reckon that's where I'm going to leave it as well, guys. Thanks for the chat. I didn't expect to do a collection review, but I thought that was fun. It's good to see other people's collections and then just be able to think about my thoughts on monsters in general and summoners, because I don't put a lot of time into sort of looking at those bits and pieces. So thanks to both of you for participating in the chat, and thanks to everyone else who watched. I will catch you guys some other time. Cheers. Have a good day. Bye.